Moses has established God's eternity. Now he turns to man's brevity. The contrast is deliberate. Verses 1 and 2 speak of what God is. Verses 3 and 4 speak of what man is not. This psalm lands with its full force because Moses intends it to strike hard. Thou turnest man to destruction, and sayest, Return, ye children of men. Psalm 90, verse 3. The word turnest carries the sense of returning something to its original state. God formed man from dust, and God returns man to dust. This is not an accident of biology. Moses, who buried an entire generation in the wilderness, writes from direct experience of watching God's word of judgment carried out funeral after funeral. The phrase, Return, ye children of men, echoes as a command spoken over every grave dug in the wilderness. God does not just allow death to happen, God speaks it. Man does not slip out of existence through natural decay alone. God summons him back to the dust from which he came. This should not be read as cruelty, but as sober truth. Man is a creature, not creator. He is dust animated by God's breath, and when God withdraws that breath, dust returns to dust. Ecclesiastes 12 verse 7 confirms this pattern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Verse 4 deepens this contrast between God's eternity and man's brevity by describing time itself. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. Psalm 90, verse 4. 1,000 years represents the outer limit of what any man might imagine as vast, unreachable time. To God, this span collapses into something as brief as a day already spent, or a single watch of the night. It is a period soldiers used to measure only a few hours of guard duty. This verse does not diminish the reality of time for man. It relativizes time from God's vantage point. What feels immense to human perception is nothing to the one who exists outside of time altogether, as Moses has established in verse 2. Peter later draws on this exact principle in 2 Peter 3 verse 8, writing, One day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Peter uses this truth to answer scoffers who doubted Christ's promised return, arguing that God's seeming delay is no delay at all when measured against his eternal nature. For the believer, this verse should produce two responses. First, it should humble any confidence in human permanence. The mightiest empire, the longest human life, the oldest institution built by human hands, all of it amounts to a watch in the night before God. Second, it should comfort the believer who feels time slipping away, who wonders if God has forgotten his promises, or if he watches years pass without apparent resolution. What feels like delay to man is not delay to God. The believer's brief life is measured against eternity, in its relationship to the eternal God, who alone determines its end.